welcome everybody to this, which is the first in our Japan House London series of online manga events. This is Drawing Your Manga Character, an online demonstration by Kutsuwada Chie, who you can see over here. And I am Simon Wright, and I am the Director of Programming at Japan House. This event will last about an hour. We encourage you, please do join in at home and join in drawing your manga character. We will then also encourage you to post that on social media after the event, so we can all see your finished manga characters. We will give you the hashtags, as you can probably see on the first screen there. We have hashtag, I believe it's Japan House London, and we also Japan House LDN, and manga, and museum at home. I think that's it. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody else later on, and I'll put that on. We will have a break halfway through, and that gives us an opportunity to be able to answer some questions. So Chie is very happy halfway through to answer some questions. Thank you very much indeed, Chie, for that. You can use the question and answer feature at the bottom of your screen, and there's a little Q&A question piece that you can use, and that will go through to our moderators, and who will be able to deliver the questions, and we'll be able to ask those questions halfway through, and probably at the end as well, if there's any time. I'd like to say that we've chosen this particular event because we worked so well with Chie last year at Japan House during the exhibition This is Manga, with the work by Urasawa Naoki. That was last summer, wasn't it, I believe? And Chie very kindly gave some manga workshops, which were very well attended, very well taken. And we thought maybe we could convert this online. It's a first for us, and it's a first for you, isn't it, as well, Chie, I think, to do it this way. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much. We're all very privileged that everybody is here. So Chie, you are a mangaka, that is a professional manga artist. You were born in Japan. You grew up in Saitama, near Tokyo. You studied at the RCA, the Royal College of Art, here in London. You now live in Brighton. That's right. You also create for a bi-monthly magazine called Mainichi Weekly in Japan, and that's about your life in the United Kingdom. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I just handed in the May issue one, so.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. The life of a mangaka is quite pressured sometimes, is it not? You have deadlines all the time. I remember when Urasawa-san was with us last year, he was always thinking about his deadlines that he had to complete, and he very generously took a week out of his schedule to be with us in London, which was marvelous.
Yeah, that was really, yeah, that's generous of him. It's a very rare occasion to see that kind of, popular manga artist who's always got rows of deadlines.
Yeah, he said he was very pressured at the beginning, and then when he was going back to Japan, he'd be very pressured again. But so it was marvelous that he was able to do that with us. And so, and you do lots of work as well. You've given workshops and demonstrations at the British Museum, the British Library, the Victoria and Albert Museum here in London, on Channel 4, CNN. And you probably got some interesting things in the pipeline. I don't know whether you can tell us, but we look out for you in the future as well.
Yeah, there might be a big illustration book coming out, hopefully, and there's some other things I'm working on, but I cannot tell you at the moment yet. It's going to be something coming in the future. So
we'll have a big reveal later. Thank you very much. Good. I just one last thing. Your screen for everybody to be able to understand this properly. Your screen should be with the main screen on the left, and you've got the video of Chie at the top there, and me as well for moderating. I think that's everything.
Okay.
I think I'll hand over to you, Chie. Thank you very much indeed. And
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's start drawing. I'm going to share my Clip Studio Paint window in a minute. Okay, can everyone see the white blank page?
I can.
Yeah, great. So I'm going to draw a character with some background with this digital way. But if you're at home, you want to follow my instruction, you can do it with your pencil and paper. And then, so please feel free to join me. Okay, first of all, what I'm going to do is, okay, I'm going to draw, I will tell, maybe it's a spoiler, but I'm going to draw a young lady with cherry blossom background. And I also make her to wear kimono, Japanese traditional kimono. And then I will tell you how to draw kimono and how to draw hair, how to draw face, facial expressions, something like that. Okay, I hope you're gonna enjoy. And then if you have any question, just let me know. Okay, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'll plan. This is just really rough plan where about you're going to draw a character. It doesn't have to be, you know, it might not make sense to you, but it's okay because it's planning. It's very rough plan where about you're going to draw a character. And if you are using pencil, use very weak pressure on this stage throughout the rough sketch stage. And actually, I'm going to make this layer blue because it's easier to see when you're inking and it's easy to your eyes. And then I think a lot of people want, a lot of professional manga artists who's working analog way, they also use this blue kind of pencil because it just distinguishes from, you know, black ink, and then you don't have to be that careful when you are erasing away. So this is my very rough plan. Well, actually, I'm going to make this character slightly smaller. Sorry, I'm doing very digital things. The good thing about using digital is you can do this small, make it small, enlarge it, things very easily. So if you're drawing analog way, just be patient and do a lot of sketching first until you decide what you want to draw. Okay. So from here, I'm more building up details. So it's gonna be like, this gonna be character's head. So you've seen before, but if you're not sure about how to draw the human face, I recommend you to use this very classic way to draw circle first. Divide it into two, extend, connect, connect. Get really nice face shape. Okay? And I'm adding whereabout of eyes, nose, mouth, and ears. And this is how her body going to be. So she tilts her head a little bit. This is the center of her body. And then I'm adding neck. Quite often people tend to draw neck very, very narrow like this. I recommend you draw neck slightly wider than you think, because narrow leg is cool, it's good, but sometimes you need to very carefully take a balance. So at this stage,
I've a question in here. Sorry,
yeah,
Chie, to interrupt you there while
no,
you're working on that neck. We have a question here from somebody asking whether we can whether we can start to draw along. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so we're able to draw along with you as you're going.
Of course, yes, do. Yes, please do.
Thank you.
It's a shame I cannot see the you guys are drawing, but please enjoy. Just have a fun, and then if you have any question, just let me know, and then try to steal, something I'm doing. Try to steal some like advice or techniques, and then things like that. That's the best way to learn how to draw. Look, learn, steal the technique. Use the tips. Okay, so now I already drew head, neck, and a little bit of her body. If you're not sure, I recommend you to draw a kind of neutral body first before putting some clothes on. Because if you draw body first, somehow it looks, if you see this character has a body, sometimes you kind of get trapped into the point that character with head, with kind of hunger kind of things, and without body, but just dress hanging around, So you have to make sure that your character got solid body. Then you draw a body first, and then you kind of make yourself aware that this character got the body. Okay, so let's go back to her face.
I've got a question here actually about about the face.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. How do you know where to place the facial features, i.e. the eyes, the nose, the mouth, in relation to?
Okay. I'll show you quickly. So usually you draw circle like this, and you divide it into 4 like this, and you extend this line like that, and connect here, connect here. So this is a kind of basic of face shape. And then how to get the position of eyes and nose and mouth is, well, for me, I tend to draw eyes just under this line here.
Okay.
And nose around here, and mouth around here, and eyebrow. So it's kind of, but if you're drawing like long face character, you put those eyes slightly upper. And if you're drawing very cute, childish, childlike face character, you will draw eyes and mouth, eyes and eyebrows slightly lower. So
Okay.
it's, you just check using this kind of line and add it, and trust your eyes and your own judgment, and find the best position for your character. It's not like there is no certain thing, no such thing like one certain position. It's totally up to the balance and what kind of character you're drawing, you know, what kind of facial impression the character is giving, you know, long face, sharp looking character, or round, you know, cute, squished face character. So it's totally up to you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. We had another question there about how do you draw good eyes, I think. And
Ah,
that's probably that's you've answered some of it there, I can see.
sorry.
We also have people not only on this webinar, but there are people also, we're live streaming through Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a question here, which also ties in with another question that's come through on the Zoom, is what software do you use?
At the moment, I'm using a software called Clip. Sorry, I cannot put CLIP, Clip Studio Paint, which is kind of specialized in making drawing, manga style drawing. So it's really good on drawing black and white. And then they give a really kind of crisp, smooth lines. Okay, and going back to how to draw eyes.
Okay,
It's
sorry.
just make it simple is my first advice. What I meant is you just need top lid, and bottom lid. I tend to draw top lid in 1, 2, 3 kind of, you know, 1, 2, 3 kind of way, and then make it smooth. And you can change the angle of top lid like that, or like this, the other way around. And I'm adding the center pupil and maybe a little bit of like this, and then highlights like that. And then sometimes I give a little bit of shadow here.
Wow.
And then if I need a little bit of eyelashes, like that. So
Yeah.
it's a start from very simple 1, 2, 3, and building up until you get you satisfied, but don't overdo it. And then sometimes people are kind of get paranoid because I cannot draw right eye and left eye on the same size, but you don't have to worry about that much. You just make it look similar, mirror image, and then, you know, nobody's got same size of eyes, you know, so don't worry about it too much. And also think about the emotion as well. Is it like it's kind of philosophical, but if you are drawing smiling eyes, you smile, and which kind of shows on your drawing like that. Even without mouse, you can see this eyes kind of looks peaceful, smiling. So think about, that emotion when you're drawing. Okay, shall I go back to that? So, okay.
Yeah, I'm tempted to ask you another question quickly, because I can see that some people are joining along with you, and maybe as you just mentioned eyes. One question here is, I'm having a little trouble placing the eyes and nose, even with the guidelines. Is there anything else I should do? Maybe we can ask for some elaboration on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult to answer the question because I don't know exactly what the problem. But from my experience, people are saying they have a problem. When I see it, it's not that big problem. They are just too perfectionist. Maybe your case is like this. So, I mean, it's kind of simple. If you see you got like too much space around here, you just need to lower eyes. And then common mistake is draw everything too high is a common mistake. So you ended up very long chin character like this. And another common mistake is drawing eyes too wide out, so too many space here. And another one is like draw everything too low. So it's just find perfect kind of triangle here. And that what makes it perfect is really depends on what kind of character you're drawing. It's, so my manga average face is something like this. But if I need to draw long chin character, I can move this thing up like that. Oops. If I want different kind of face, I can draw everything very low like this. So it really depends what kind of face you want to draw. It's kind of try and error. So what you need is to check the balance all the time and then draw it again and again in a way. It's not like you cannot, there's nothing you can calculate or anything. So it's, sorry if I hope I can.
That's marvelous. That's marvelous.
Question.
That's some really useful tips there.
Okay.
I know we've got other questions, but I'll let you carry on.
Okay, a little bit, yes. So now going back to the character, I'm adding a hair. So it's, this is your template head, and it's like you are adding how do you call that, wig in a way. So what I meant is this is her, this area is her fringe, and she's parting her fringe like side parted fringe. And then she also had like this side of hair. Maybe I should make it this side of hair and this side of hair. But this side, her hair is behind ears. And she also got, here is her hair from behind. You know what I mean? It's a kind of.
It's in shadow, yes?
Yeah. I just color charted fringe, side of hairs, and behind. So just thinking about it, I'm just adding fringe, this side, this front, this is back, this side, going behind the ear, slightly on front and behind. See? So this is how you build up the hair. And this idea is same for every hairstyle, you know, and maybe next session and then later session, I will show you how to draw other hairstyle. But this idea is always the same. Think about fringe, what the shape is, and then think about where's the behind of the head, you know, where hair starts, how it goes down, or is it like going up like this and then tie it here or something like that. Okay.
Wonderful. You've anticipated a question that someone's asked. Fantastic. Just then.
Oh, good, good. And now is the time to make her wear Japanese kimono. So traditional clothes like kimono, what you have to do first is actually you have to kind of research a little bit. And then there's a certain style. For example, kimono, you might know they have like this kind of neckline. But do you know, for example, kimono is always left hand side, this side is over right hand side. Otherwise,
so you're right. When you wrap over, your right goes inside.
Exactly. Yeah. This is a kind of big rule for kimono wearing. And then if you make mistake and do it in opposite, it's very unlucky because we tend to wear this, we tend to wear dead people kimono in this way. So it's
when you dress the deceased,
yeah, exactly.
kimono is wrapped in the opposite direction.
So it's for the funeral for the dead people. So always left up, light under, and then if it goes really detailed, female kimono tend to the neckline is slightly looser, and men's kimono are slightly more tighter and close to the neck. But this is a very small detail. But if you want to kind of, you know, explore the kimono tradition and everything, if you look for those small details, it's actually really cool. So this time she is wearing like female style kimono.
Mm-hmm.
So you see a little bit of neckline open.
Mm-hmm.
And then for kimono, this is kind of stand color area. And then usually it's kind of underwear kind of things wearing underneath like this. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So 2 layers of kimono look like this. And shoulder. And here she is holding the sleeve. You know, you can, there's her hands, but hiding behind kimono sleeve.
So she's holding it up something like this, yes?
Yes. So kimono sleeve is usually look like this. There's another common mistake people make. Japanese kimono sleeve is never look like this, but more square-ish. Not
Yeah.
never like this. Like a proper like an ordinary sleeve. It's very kind of almost like rectangle to cross.
I mean, a kimono is made of hamon strips, isn't it? Of rectangular, equally sized rectangular strips. And these sleeves here I can see are furisode, yes?
Mm-hmm. So you can make it shoulder. Mm-hmm. Men's kimono has a shoulder here. I mean, you can, your hands gonna be like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then young girl tend to wear very long furisode, swing sleeve, directly translated like that.
And just for women, yes? Just for young women?
Just for young women, yeah. So there are so many interesting customs for kimono, so please do make some research.
It's a very good point. I mean, the Victoria and Albert Museum, I mean, sadly, at the moment it's not.
Yes.
But there is a big kimono exhibition, which is still in situ inside the museum. And I do hear rumors that the exhibition will be open once the Victoria and Albert Museum is able to open its doors again to the public. So
that's great.
Fingers crossed people will be able to see it's a brilliant exhibition, really interesting, really.
Yeah. And the obi belt, females obi belt tend to tied in quite high in a position. So it's not on the waist. It's more like just below the chest, and it's quite high. And you see some soft obi belt supporting the obi belt, and then thick, big obi belt you can imagine is underneath like this, right? So it already look like really kind of proper kimono-ish, isn't it? I hope so.
We've got a few questions coming in, just to let you know. Let me know when you want to take a break.
Okay.
We'll complete.
I mean, I can take a break and take a question right now if you want to.
Okay, shall we go? There's okay, fantastic, thank you. We have a question from Udesh asking, what is your favorite manga?
Oh, my favorite manga. At the moment, I think Golden Kamuy, and then Delicious in Dungeon. is my current favorite, two current favorite.
Fantastic. I mean, yes, indeed. Golden Kamui has hit Japan by storm, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a bit violent. It's the story is so gripping, and then art is very well done. And then I really admire the author. Did a lot of research. So the author respected the Ainu culture, which is like a native Hokkaido area, people's culture. So it's really, really great. So if you were old enough.
Noda Satoru, isn't it? Not Noda.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's Noda Satoru.
I was very lucky enough to meet him last year.
Oh, I missed that chance.
Well, he tends to not go into the limelight so much. He tends to wait in the shadows behind. He's quite shy. No, not really shy.
Right. I can imagine that he sometimes he's actually stopped it, but he had a Twitter account and he sounded very shy person. Funny,
amazing, amazing detail.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have another question here. You've mentioned, what software or programs do you recommend? I know that you use Clip Studio Paint. Do you have any others that people could use if they wanted to?
Just 1 second. I would say Mediban Paint, which is, I think you can download it free. I think it's Mediban Paint, and then it's free, but for free application, it does, it's very, very good. You can actually draw almost anything with that application. And then they've got like computer version and also iPad version. And then, so, I mean, if you're not sure if you can, pay, if you want to pay something, but if you want to try the taste of digital drawing, why don't you try that free Mediban Paint program?
Okay, thank you. And a quick one about your what tablet do you use? That's a question from Facebook.
I use a very, very, very old Wacom tablet, and then which is not even the how do you call that? The one you can draw on to it. It's very old, classic A5 size tablet, surprisingly.
So it shows you can use pretty much anything.
Exactly.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
We have a question here from Michaela Buckley asking, how do you make the face more feminine? Mine is a little bit manly.
Feminine face, I would say use rounder line first of all, and make jaw slightly pointy. I mean, if you draw face like using very straight line like this, and then give a very kind of edge, squarish jaw, your character automatically look like quite, in a way, slightly masculine. It can be female, of course, but it tends to look masculine. But if you draw face rounder like this, it looks slightly feminine. Okay. And then, yeah, maybe, and also if you draw neck wider like this, it looks very strong. But if you draw neck slightly narrower, and then not like this kind of shoulder, but rounder shoulder line like this, Can you see those big difference? So this is a two extreme example.
Mm-hmm.
And always there's something in between those two. But this is how you kind of use the idea of looking masculine or looking feminine kind of face and neck, shoulder line things.
Fantastic. Thank you. Wonderful. We have a few more questions. Are you okay to carry on with some questions?
Yeah.
Okay, we have one here
Mm-hmm.
from Georgina Claydon saying,
Mm-hmm.
how do you do shading?
Oh,
Is that
okay.
something you're going to get onto later, or should we?
Yes. So
Okay,
shall I
we'll
get
leave that
on
one
to the drawing now?
yes, and maybe to answer that question as well as you're drawing, there's
Okay.
another one which is, it says, I
Mm-hmm.
know it's a bit early, but I always have a problem rendering clothes. They always look a bit stiff rather than soft. How do I go about making clothes feel or look soft?
Oh,
So there's one question
that's
about shading and one about clothes looking
okay.
soft.
Well, that question is kind of difficult to answer when I'm drawing kimono
Okay.
because kimono is very stiff. But I will show you how to do it. So shall we start inking this lady
Please
first?
do, please do, please do.
So if you are at home using pencil and paper, you can change it to like fine point liners or even just pencil. You just start using stronger pressure. And I'm going to ink. Sorry, I just kind of stop talking because I concentrate when I'm inking.
No, please do. That's no problem. It's fascinating, actually, being able to see what you're doing. I find it incredible that you're doing this digitally, actually.
Yeah.
The way that you are able to control. It's a stylus you're using, I presume. So,
Mm.
like using a pencil, but even so, don't
It,
worry. You don't have to
it's
talk.
if it's digital or not, it's almost drawing is. I would say drawing is almost like a riding a bicycle or playing a piano. You kind of get used. You know how to control your hand and hand. Uh, brain hand coordination. If you kind of train yourself doing it every day, it's just a practice. It's kind of more. You have to make sure your body remembers how to draw.
Draw every day.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's a training things. It's a more like train yourself.
I've heard that it's in order, one should always, if one wants to draw, wants to be able to draw and get better, one always has to draw every day in order to maintain that sensibility of
Yeah,
and muscle memory
exactly.
and
Muscle memory is quite important.
so never go a day without drawing, which is it's quite a nice thing.
Well, I do have some lazy days, so okay. And when you are drawing here, you don't have to draw every single hair strings. It's just draw some important lines. It's cheating using, because I can erase things, so it's kind of cheating when you are drawing digitally. So this is kind of front to side here. And this is the other side. And this is behind. So I add more lines. And then I think someone asked about shading.
That's right, yes.
If you are like professional manga artist, or you want to do it professionally, we use the things called tone, which is quite often nowadays people do it on digitally. Before it was like a kind of sticky, transparent paper, and then some patterns are printed on, so you have to kind of press it onto your work, and then how do you call that? Trim
like
it
a transfer.
Wire.
Like a transfer, yeah.
Yeah.
Little dots and things like that in order to
Exactly.
give a
But
kind of.
now those things are done by digitally most of the time. But when you are drawing just using pen and paper, what you can do is, one thing is you just draw like even paced line like that to show the shadow area under the chin. So I tend to use, like, for example, place like under the chin, I use slightly stronger, thicker line like this, and add this kind of angled, even lines.
We have a question here about how do you decide on the thickness of line, actually. So
That's a good question. This drawing I didn't do much, but quite often what I do is I use stronger lines, outline, like here and here and here, and also facial lines slightly stronger. And then other little lines like this are slightly thinner. I use thinner lines. And then the place, like very complicated places like eyes and things like that, I use thinner line, but building up to get thicker, like this. That's it. And then all those, that kind of line. For example, I think if you like manga, this kind of line on the cheek means she's blushing. Those kind of line I try to use thinner, delicater, more delicate lines. Okay. And so shade, for like line drawing, I just do shade using line like this, or for example, inside of the eye, like
hatching.
Yeah, like this, hatching, or just using this kind of line like here, and then yeah, just use delicate small lines to building up.
Oh,
So you see kind of some kind of depth, even if I just only use black and white lines.
a lot of depth.
Yeah, and then sometimes I even like, sorry, I even add like this kind of lines to make sure that she's got slightly darker hair, something like that.
There's a
Or
lot
you,
of
sorry?
sorry, a lot of depth and movement. And one
Yes.
question that's come through is
Okay.
how do you get movement in the hair?
Ah,
This is from someone who says that their hair looks a little bit stiff at the moment.
okay. So this one.
Not
And
this one, the one that they're drawing at home.
okay. Well, maker draw movement is first thing is just use like, oh, sorry, I use a long pen. Use really nice, you know. This is another thing you have to like muscle memory to draw hair like that. And also little tips is this lady tilt the head like little bit like that. So the hair goes more like this. So I can even add this side of hair goes more move like that.
Yeah.
So
wonderful. Thank you.
it's kind of, you know, you when you are looking at like film or TV drama or anything, someone moving, you just see, well, for hair, I think the shampoo commercial or something, how hair moves as the model's head moves. So it's kind of going other direction way. And then use nice curvy lines is another key.
Okay.
Also,
I won't ask you any more questions at the moment in order to let you carry on, because
okay.
I can see there are lots and lots and lots and lots coming through. So maybe we will we'll some more questions at the end. We'll race through them. I'll let you carry on drawing so that.
Okay.
Oh, fantastic.
So now is the kimono. So kimono is actually very, very stiff as a material.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to draw it quite square-ish. Like this. Use quite straight lines. But I think I remember someone asking how to draw the dress looks more soft and then flow.
That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's actually related, something similar to the hair, you need to draw, you need to use this kind of curvy, nice, to make sure that the cloth is soft. Like, for example, if you draw, let's say, the skirt, denim skirt,
Mm-hmm.
and then like, I don't know the material, but more like,
I see. Yeah.
it's a kind of too extreme example. But you see, when I'm drawing denim skirt, I tend to use more straight, square kind of lines. And then also, if I need to add some creases, I use more straight lines. But when I'm drawing like soft skirt,
Mm-hmm.
I use more rounder, curvy lines, which you can see the air coming through. And then those creases are not like this, but more like that. Do you see that difference?
Yes, very much so. Very much
That's
so.
great. So this, if you kind of think about it, it's gonna be a bit different. And also the drawing costume are like unlimited. It's kind of, there's so many things you can learn. So another thing is, I always recommend people to use references and do some research and then see how, for example, kimono dress look like. You need to know before drawing. I mean, not before drawing, but if you want to draw them properly, you need to know the rule and system and how they look like. So do some research and
That's
then,
that's another
yeah,
plug for the V&A actually, for their Victorian Albert Museum
exactly.
exhibition. What I noticed when I saw the exhibition was that a lot of the kimono were on mannequins,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good way to present a kimono, of course, because that's how they were meant to be
Yeah,
seen. A lot of the time, kimono are presented on in the in 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 a flat
exactly.
plane, which shows the design, but that's not
Mm-mm-mm.
necessarily how you would usually see a kimono, of course, because it would be normally on a person.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so this is kind of roughly, and you can add a lot of like different patterns and everything. And then maybe I should give one little tips for how to add sakura. Is just draw a circle, divide this circle into five, and then add this kind of shape. Give a little bit of slit here.
Important, isn't it? Cherry tree blossom petals have this little V out of the end of the petal, don't they?
Yeah, and
Just to let everybody know, we've gone over 3 o'clock already.
yeah.
The webinar continues. This work we continue till it finishes. So there's no time limit. So please do stay if you can.
Okay, so can I just go on and finish the drawing?
Yes, please do. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. So what I'm going to do. Oh, sorry. So I'm just going to add a little bit of flowers behind her.
Mhm.
And maybe a little bit of petals. And maybe add some flowers on her clothes as well. Is there any question while
Yes,
I'm
we've
adding?
got lots of questions actually coming through. So if you're able to answer questions while you draw, that would be good.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think so.
let's have a look here. Oh, this is interesting. Would you say that manga is a talent, or does it come with practice? And how did you discover your passion for it?
Sorry, how?
How did you discover your passion for manga?
Oh, well, uh, w- the manga is actually, I mean, everybody can draw manga if, you know, it's just for fun. But if you want to become a professional, first thing first is if you have enough passion to complete, for example, 90 pages long short story. It's a kind of very long, tiring process. You kind of, for example, Japanese manga is it's quite often the creator create a story, design the character, and illustrate all of them. If you become very, very famous and popular, you can uh, hire some assistant who can help you. But when for the beginning, you have to do everything on your own. So it means you have to write down the script, plan the page, plan everything, and then draw everything on your own to to finish one complete story. And usually people ask to, for example, like publishers ask the people who want to become manga to submit very short story, like 19 to 24 pages, something like that. So your first test is if you have that passion to complete that story. And quite a lot of people cannot finish because it's so much, you have to kind of draw same character again and again and again, like planning stage, um, like next planning stage, and inking, penciling, inking, and blah, blah, blah for 19 pages long. And you have to make sure that people understand the story. And then, so everybody can draw manga. But if you want to go the next level, you have to find out if your passion is true, real one. Next thing you have to do is you have to kind of try to finish one story. Then if you can do it, I think your passion and your talent is maybe quite genuine. So you should keep on drawing and keep on, creating story.
That's good advice. I think I've seen the process of manga artists, young manga artists, creating a variety of manga whereby you can see that halfway through the story, maybe some of the passion disappeared, or
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my first attempt was when I was very, very young, and then I actually gave up on the first page because it was too much.
yeah, and it's
But
not only
later I
story.
tried it again.
I'm sorry.
But when I was very, very young, I tried to draw, create my first manga story. But that time, I actually gave up. And then a bit later, not bit, but quite later, I actually managed to finish one story. Then I kind of start building up my confidence and my passion. So please try to draw. Please try
Yeah,
to finish one story because it's actually it's tiring, but it's fun, and then you feel as if you're like film director who is control on everything, the images, stories, casting as well. I remember Urasawa sensei actually talking about film casting as character design.
that's right. It was a
Yeah.
question to him, wasn't it, while he
Yeah.
was with us in London about about characters and what you need to be able to develop good characters. And he talked about acting, didn't he?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said somebody needs to be really to have the intelligence for acting in order to be able to create these characters, or at least the sensibility for acting. You have to be able to inhabit
Yeah.
these different characters that you create. I wasn't expecting that answer from him, actually. That was interesting, very interesting. We've got a few more minutes while we carry on.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you get on with that. I'll just remind people who are with us, thank you very much for joining us today. Just to remind you that if you have been drawing along, that we would welcome you to send us your creations, your characters, and do it by social media, by Facebook, by Instagram, and put the hashtags. I think they're behind me up here on the screen. That's Japan House London, hashtag manga, and hashtag museum at home. And also, if you could tag us, that would also be much appreciated. That's at Japan House LDN, at Japan House LDN. How are you getting on, Chie?
Um.
Ah, they're coming to life, these.
Yeah. I think it's roughly almost finished. So now it looks like this. Oop. What do you think?
I think that's brilliant. It's fantastic. Thank you very much. Wonderful. I mean, we've just missed the cherry blossom, haven't we? It's just gone now. It's maybe the last ones are falling.
Yeah.
There's a significance, isn't there, in Japan for falling cherry blossoms, of course.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I need to know when I stop, but if I tend to carry on, so maybe I should stop it here.
Oh, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. I've got one more question,
Yeah,
maybe,
sure.
that's to do with um, how would you recommend a non-Japanese artist to get into the manga industry?
Mm. Oh, well, I mean, it's a kind of two different level. If you want to go to Japan to be a manga artist,
Hmm.
now it's still you need to learn Japanese language first, and then you need to expect very harsh like competition and everything. But also now it's quite open. A lot of non-Japanese people living in not outside of Japan, they become a manga artist. And then there's a one thing you can do. The very first step is you can actually apply for the Manga Jiman competition organized by Japan Embassy. And then also there are silent manga competition. I think you should Google it. It's organized by, I don't remember exactly, but there is a silent manga audition. So you don't need to be able to speak Japanese or write Japanese.
Okay.
And also there are big Japanese publisher, I think, organizing once a year. It's international manga competition. So you can be outside of Japan, but become a manga artist at the same time. So yeah, there's a quite a lot of possibility, and then starting point as a competitions as a starting point.
Very good advice. I think it's a way of getting noticed, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's another. Yeah, that's a very good way to get noticed, and then do a lot of, for example, self-publishing things, and then attend like conventions, manga conventions or comic conventions, and then show your work to the people, and then also SNS, use SNS, because we are in a very good time to use SNS, and then a lot of people who is not like that famous before, but was discovered through the SNS because they actually start showing their work on SNS. So there are actually more possibility than before. So it's a good time actually.
Thank you for mentioning that. Up here, we have the hashtags for
Oh
for
yeah,
this
of
particular
course.
event as well. So please do use these hashtags, and we will investigate and publicize these things. So please, if you're pretty proud of what you've been able to draw, do post it on your social networks. I think that's all we've got time for today, Chie.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
No,
But
thank you.
thank you, really. And this is not the last time, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. We've got more dates with you coming up in the future, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
You'll be looking at more tips how to draw manga,
Yep.
different characters. We've got lots of questions that we haven't been able to answer today, but we'll try and get through them. People are asking, how do they draw noses? How do they draw ears? How do they,
Oh,
you
okay.
know, all these sorts of things. So we will be able to pick that thread and those questions up at another time. So thank you very much. It's been great to have you.
Thank you for everyone to coming.
No, indeed. Thank you,
Thank
everybody, for
you.
joining us.
Hope you
Uh,
guys are enjoying it.
yeah, I've enjoyed it immensely. I'm sure
Okay,
everybody.
that's great.
We have next week, on the Tuesday the 5th, we have another online manga uh, demonstration and tip session with Elena Vitaliano.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, and she's Italian and she's in this country, but she's a fantastic manga artist as well. And she will be looking at the world of Amabie.
Oh, wow.
This is a trend that's been on social media in Japan at the moment. So the amabie,
That's
the
interesting.
yokai, the kind of mermaid type
Yeah.
monster, indicates a good harvest, but also keeps away pestilence. So
Yeah.
we're looking forward to that. That's really interesting. We also have another online event on Thursday, the 7th of May, where we look at the gallery tour
Mm.
online of the Anno Mitsumasa exhibition, which we held last year. We've made this wonderful three-dimensional virtual tour, and I will be with Tomoko Azumi, the designer and big Anno Mitsumasa fan, and we will talk through that virtual tour on Thursday, the 7th of May. So do join us for some more manga. 5th of May with Eleanor, again with Chie later on, and we'll put those dates out. It's been fantastic. Thank you very much. I think we've coped with this technology really
Yeah.
well. I think your picture, your manga has been amazing. I can see it beautifully here. Absolutely incredible. We'll send everybody a feedback form to everybody who's been joining. So there may be some more questions in there. Please do let us know what you think, how you would like this to go forward. If you have any suggestions, whether you like the time of day that we did it, all sorts of things. We'll listen to you and see what we can do to make things better as well. Thank you very much again, Chie. Thank you
Thank
to everybody
you.
who's joined us.
Thank you,
And
everyone.
we will see you again very soon.
Yeah, see you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.